Welcome to the last video of this section. Now in this video we will be talking about something called as an enumerated data type. Now what an enumerated data type does is that it gives us the power of creating our very own data type, and we can define all the values that a variable of our own type can take. It is basically another way of declaring constants in C, and it helps a lot in making the program a whole lot easier to understand to the user. So let's say we are writing a code and we want to take the marital status of a person, right? So a person can be single, married, or divorced, either of the three, right? So what we can do is, instead of asking the user for 0 for single and 1 for married and 2 for divorced, it sounds very vague, right? So instead, it would be great if you could actually take the word single as the and store it, right? So let's try making that. The keyword for enumeration is enum, and we need to give it a name, let's say marital status. And here inside the block we need to define all the possible values that it can take. So we have single, we have married, and we have divorced, right? So these are the three possible values which our variable can take, and it should end with a semicolon. And now, just like we declare int a, in a similar way we are going to declare a variable of our own type, which is marital status person 1 and person 2. Let's say we have two people, 2. So now when we take the input, we can simply ask the person to enter his marital status, and we can store it like person 1 is equal to single and person 2 is, let's say, divorced. Right, so as you can see, this makes the program a whole lot easier to understand for the user, because in the menu, instead of saying 0 for single, he can actually enter single. Right, so this is what the user sees. Now let me tell you what happens behind the scene. In the memory, all these three identifiers are represented as constants only. Single is treated as 0, married is treated as 1, and divorce is treated as 2 by default. You can give it any other value if you wish to, but by default it begins with 0 and incremented by 1 with all the variables, right? So whenever we refer to single, the compiler actually sees it as 0, but for the user's understanding sake, we are referring to it as single, right? So that's how enum comes in handy whenever we are trying to give a menu to the user. It makes it a whole lot easier to understand. And that's all about enum that you guys need to know. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next section.